Friends, I'm a little bit of a mess tonight. It's been a hectic weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and show you something I've been putting off for a while is some of my favorite Strat sounds for the LT25. And I'll tell you the reason, the reason why is I tend to play Strats a little different than I do other guitars. And it's because of the versatility of the Strat, right? I mean, it's because, you know, I like basically every position, something about it. You know, whether I'm in the bridge, the middle, the in-between, or the in-between the neck. And I usually, a lot of times I'll play the bridge or the neck, or usually a lot of times the second position, sometimes the fifth. Very seldom do I play the middle pickup much, but I do sometimes. And you know, so when I'm playing Strat, it's sort of a different approach to playing. You know, I use the wham bar sometimes, and I like tremolo on Strats. I like the bell type quality, but then I like some of the snarl you can get sometimes out of a Strat as you move around from pickup to pickup. So usually what I try to do is, particularly with the LT25, is come up with clean sounds that I know will sound good in a variety of different pickup positions. And then I use, right now I'm using very cheap pedals that sound pretty darn great. I have the Tube Screamer Behringer clone, and I have the purple Distortion pedal that they make. Both these pedals are like $30, so they're like not going to break your bubble here. I also did buy an electro-harmonic silencer, a noise gate. I still tend to use the noise gate that's on the LT25 a lot because it's really good. But let's say I want to use some of the distortion effects that are on the LT25. The clone is pretty good, and but it's noisy, and so I'll use the silencer pedal a lot of times. So I'm going to turn the silencer pedal off right now. What you're hearing now, I've got a mixer here that I'm playing the Strat sounds, and the one I'm using here is one I call acoustic simulation with tremolo on it. And I did use the preset that's in there, if you've got it, called acoustic sim, but I modified it a good bit, and I'll show you what all I did. I'll go in. First of all, I got the 5-band EQ. I changed some things on that to kind of suit how I like my Strats to sound. I did go in here and I put a tremolo on it, however you want to say it. I stayed with the studio preamp, which is a very cool, clean amp that doesn't mess with the sound of your Strat very much, or any other guitar. I did do some EQ settings here, which you can see, and I am using the large hall, but I backed off big time on the amount of large hall decay. So here's kind of what I've got with this particular preset that I like a lot to use for rhythms, or for I'm finger picking, or just playing something that's gentle and cool. Now, as you know, it's not going so much for the acoustic simulation now, right? I'm just really trying to get kind of a cool Strat sound that sounds good in different positions. So I've gone to the in between the bridge and the middle, and this is a cool sound. Middle pickup sounds kind of like this. And then on the in between. Might need to check my tuning just slightly here. Here's the front pickup, or the neck pickup. And so that's one you kind of see. I'll start out with that. I have 10 sounds that I've been using as I jam around with stuff. So I'm going to take you back to the first one here in my chain, which is this Princeton medium that I've come up with. And I think what I'll do, I'll turn my audio off so you're not hearing me, the string plucks here with my pick. That was the neck. Here's the bridge. Here's the in-between. Sounds pretty stratty there. And here's the middle. And then I'll go to a in-between here with these two pickups. Here's the neck pickup. Bring my mic up just a little bit again. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, of course, is keep the pick strokes out of this. Let you hear more of basically what's coming on the amp. I thought what I would do, though, is hit the tube screamer and the overdrive distortion to show you kind of how these are useful. I'll try to keep these sounds kind of clean. And you see here what I've got with the setup here. I've got the metal gate, and I've got the threshold set pretty low on that. I should have saved it a little bit lower probably. And then I've got my Princeton Sound here. And you can see I'm using not much gain here at all, 2.5. I've got the volume up pretty high, and then got a good bit of treble, and you know, scooped the mids just a little bit and knocked a little bit off the bass. But let me show you what, like here's I'm in the neck position, what this sounds like if I kick in the tube screamer. Here's without. So it makes pretty good. You know, I try not to use too much gain on the tube screamer. I use more like a boost, but it gives it some crunch, some guts, and makes it stand out a little bit for a lead. If I want to go for kind of a more traditional lead sound, I'll use the distortion. You can hear I have got a delay on here. And I typically don't use big, long, streaming delays either. Folks, I set my sounds up just to be, honestly, very, I guess, subdued somewhat. I try to make them not nonsensical, okay? And, you know, I tend to like spring and plate reverbs a lot. So that's what you're going to hear a whole lot of in my stuff. I like to hear the sound of the different amps. I think that's what the strength. I mean, you can play around with all the different effects that are in there. If you need a phaser, if you need a flanger, if you need a chorus, if you need step filters and touch wahs and stuff like that, it's all in there. And you can mess around with it. But these presets that I give you, you can add all those things to it if you want to go in. But I'm trying to give you just what I think are good amp sounds that sound sort of like what they're supposed to be. Because I think the strength of this little amp is the models and the reverbs. And the delays, actually, the delays are not real sophisticated, but the reverb is pretty freaking great. And so anyway, let me keep on. And I think that metal gate's awesome. It just silences everything so well. Let's move on. I'll go to number 21 here. But before I do, so there's the Princeton. But listen how much difference it sounds when it goes to a deluxe or to like a Tweed. Nice, huh? I'm still in the neck position. Here's my the back pickup. And you're hearing a lot of my pick gain here. Let me turn it off for a minute. I'll play through the different pickups. middle position. Nice and clean. Position number 4. And the neck position. Now let's hear it with a little bit of tube screamer. Maybe the distortion. So yeah, so you can see this very flexible kind of tonage there that you have. I'll show you that one. Here's how I've got the Tweed set up, and here's how I've got the small room on that one. Just double checking my tune again. I know I'm playing it, I'm knocking. I should talk about this guitar just a little bit, I guess. Why did I choose this guitar to demo this bunch of sounds? It is a 1998 Mexican-made Strat. So it does not have the noiseless pickups. It's actually the most Stratty type Strat that I have. It's got just really just classic type Strat sounds, and no mumbo jumbos. A no nonsense guitar that I guess you could buy nowadays for about what, $4.99, $5.99, something like that. I love this guitar. It still has vintage everything. I just put new tuners on it, and it does have a Graphtec string tree up here because I used to get some stickage there in that little area. So let me keep on going with these, and I'll show you some other sounds I've done. I've done this 70s. I call it 70s Marshall with a phase. It has got a bit of a phase on it. Let me kill my mics again for a second. Position 2. And here is the middle position. You know what? I'm playing with that dang distortion on the whole time. My bad. Thought it was higher gain than I've been playing with. So what it is, it's a 70s type Marshall amp, but I've got it dialed back enough so that you're really getting the amp sound, not so much the crunch of it. You can hear it is kind of breaking up just a little. And here's the middle. Here is the in between. And the neck position. And yeah, if you go to the crunch, that's the tube screamer. Here's the distortion. And so I have that one set up with the metal gate on. I have the phaser set to this, in case you care. I could turn the phaser off and it changes it to that extent. You see I only have the gain set again to about 2.5, and I've got the plate reverb on this one. Go ahead and pull myself back in for a minute here and talk about these some more. Now hopefully it doesn't It might not even matter so much that you hear me playing string. I just want you to hear what really comes off the amp though. So here is my, okay, so here I use the Klon. And if you listen closely, you'll hear some noise. If I hit the TC Electronics, or if I hit the, see this TC Electronics right now, Electro Harmonics is what I bought. So if I hit the Electro Harmonics, it kills all of that. So this one has the Klon. I think it's active. Make sure I haven't turned it off. Yeah. So you see, I haven't bumped it up a lot. I just used it for some dirt on a Fender sounding amp. And then I've got the tremolo on this one. This is how I've got the amp set up. I do have a delay on this. This is probably the most fancy setup that I've used in this thing. Here's a 65 spring reverb that I'm using. So I'll turn off again for a minute. We'll start on the bridge and I'll play some sounds on this. In the neck position. It's a pretty nice sound, that one. Like I say, a little more stuff that I don't usually put on these amps, but yeah, just to show you exactly what it'll do. I'm gonna turn the noise gate off again here. I've got a Marshall Dirty. Here I'm using the metal gate on this. And I am getting a Marshall 80s Rock on this, and I've got the spring reverb on this. I did have an Arena. I don't know, it was a little much. And I say Marshall Dirty. It's not a dirty sound at all. But it dirts up real nice when I hit the turning my mics off again. Zero effects there. So we'll move on to another one that I've done here. Did I show you? I think I showed you. Yeah, right. That's set up, didn't I? Yep. And let's go to what I got in 25 here. I've got a Vox Bright with an echo on it. So this is somewhat of a U2 type sound, but and they had a U2 actually in this position. I just didn't. Here again, I thought it was just a little over the top, and I like the Vox sound. Matter of fact, I'd like to have 3 or 4 more setups with the Vox, but then I have a Vox, so I usually a lot of times I'm going to play Vox sounds. I might use this one in conjunction with the Vox to create like a top gain or a brighter one versus a little bit darker one. So let me just play how this sounds. I'll crank off here. So it's got the delay on it again. Pretty cool sound. I'll show you how I got that set. I have the Vox set this way. I have the delay set like this. It's actually an echo, not a delay. And then I have the reverb set this way. Not too much. Yes, that's not too much. I'll crank back up my audio here. Yeah. And let's go on to another sound that I've come up with for my, I'm using mostly for these right here. Again, this whole setup here is Strats. And I've saved my other ones. I honestly like playing this amp, I think, better with Fender guitars than I do with humbuckers. I don't know, I came up with some pretty good Les Paul sounds though. Now this, and here again, so this is a 70s UK clean. I just like the nature of this sound a lot. It lets the Strat be the Strat, you know? Let's see if I can turn this, here, turn my volume off again for a minute. Middle position. Number 4. That particular amp sounds really good when it's distorted. So you wouldn't think that this, you know, you'd pick a 70s UK clean to be a really good distorted sound, but when you, I love to be able to go from that real clean, pretty sound to something with some teeth in it. And then let's go to another one here. I'll show you what I did with the UK clean though. That's what I've got. I have the metal gate on again and nothing but a arena reverb. Turn myself back up again here for a second. So let's go over to here, number 27 is, okay, I love this little Excelsior amp. And I've got it called, it's called Excelsior Spring with Bell. The reason I say Bell, you know, one of the things that people like about Strats is they do have a bell-like quality. The sound is, it's kind of just a bright, you know what I'm talking about. If you, I got the distortion on. It's a nice round Strat sound. Turn my volume off here again. Nice. And so, let's see, I'll give you the rest of the sounds. Like I say, it just rings like a bell there, doesn't it? With some gain. And let's go back over here for a minute. All right, I'm back. Okay, and then I've got this one here that I call, oh, did I show you the Excelsior setup? Maybe I didn't. I guess maybe I did. Not sure. Okay, there you go. And then I've got this one that I've done. I've called High Gain Plate. Let me turn me off again here. I'm using no gain now on either of the pedals. If I were to kick it in, it would maybe get a little bit too much. Let's try one, see. I think it's too much. You see I'm using the Eddie Van Halen type amp there, right? Killer sound, that one. So let me go on over here to this. Oh, I'll show you that. Here's I've got the Eddie Van Halen. I think I barely got the gain on at all, and that's what that thing sounds like. So see, you don't have to throw a whole lot of those distortions and things on to get a really nice rocking kind of sound. That's just barely turned on. And I've got the plate set to this for that one. And let's go on to the next one here. My number 29 is another high gain amp. And this one I've used this alt metal sound, which sounds pretty good, I think. It's like the other one. Actually, the gain might be a little smoother, but it's a little more aggressive at the same time. So I've got the amp set that way. I do have a delay on this one, and I did use the arena on this one. Again, I got the metal gate set. The metal gate seems to always work good at about level 2. So if I turn it off, that's a quiet one though. That believe it or not, that amp is pretty dang quiet. So there you go. That's the gain on this one. Turning myself off again. Treble position or the bridge. That sounds like it might be a little harsh, but if you double track your guitars and put one in the left ear and one in the right ear and mix them together a little bit, that sounds good if you got like the back pickup. I like having it kind of bright back here. And then throw on the other side this. Things I'm playing kind of weird tonight because I've got kind of a hangnail here. Plus I'm playing with a Music Lily pickup. I've usually got my green Tortex and I'm honestly not in the groove tonight because of this pick. I don't know where the almighty pick eater went that ate all my green picks. It's a wicked sound of that one. And then I'm back here to my acoustic sim that we started the show with. So hopefully you've enjoyed a bit of that foolishness. And so that shows you kind of what I'm doing. Here again, to me, I'm trying to make no-nonsense patches. And if I want to throw some effects and stuff onto it, I can. What I'm doing, I'm using Band in a Box, and I'm trying to come up with pieces of music. I've written over 300 songs over the years, and I'm trying to find styles within Band in a Box so I don't have to sit and play bass. I used to, years ago, if you go to my Reverb Nation site, I'll put a link to it in here, you can go hear songs where I sat meticulously for nights, stayed up nights, and I played bass, I played keyboards, I played 2 or 3 guitars, and I'd get a friend named Tracy Houston to come in and sing. Carl Lane would come in and play guitars, or excuse me, play drums, or a guy named Jeff Searzango, who's a really awesome local guitar or local drummer. And so I would beg those guys to come over and play drums for me. Sometimes I would do them and program them step per step. And this was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it was just a lot of work. I was using the archaic, a thing called Digital Orchestrator Pro to create these demos. Go listen to them though; it's pretty good. And I got some of them on my YouTube. But somewhere you'll find me. If I don't have Tomorrow, as a sad country song dedicated to my dad. Everything is a song. You just look up Tommy Lee Glenn, Everything, and you'll hear it's kind of pop, rock, country, blues. You Make a Red-Blooded White Boy Blue I did like a big bunch of demos, and these were the kinds of sounds that I wished I could use then. All I had was a one SM58, I think I bought a second one later, and played into a Peavey Bandit with this guitar and a Washburn Les Paul and an American Telecaster. I had that's all the only guitars I had, except I did have a couple of acoustics, and I had an Ibanez bass that I ended up donating to a church. And so what I'm trying to do is sort of go get the best of those songs, re-record them the way I wanted to record them back in the day, even though Tracy, the guy that's singing on his demos, has passed on. He had a problem with diabetes, which I do too. And but it got the best of Tracy, and I'm going to do a video in the future about diabetes and what I'm doing to turn my diabetes around. And anyway, these are Strat sounds that I would typically use in the song sets that I write in. And with a little bit of tweaking, maybe they'll be something that you can use too. So that's how I'm developing my little tones for the Fender LT25, folks. Thanks for watching. Share any thoughts you have. Make a video using some of these, or your take on some of them. And here again, every Strat sounds different, so some of those settings might not work for your Strat. Again, if you have the vintage pickups, if you have humbuckers in them, you might find you need to roll something off here or there. And if you want to play around with the effects and stuff, I just don't use a whole lot of effects. I'm a reverb, amp gain. If I need to kick in a boost or something with a distortion, I'll do that. Or with a green type overdrive. I'm that kind of guy. I always have been, and never used a whole lot of effects. just like to hear the sound of the guitar amps. And this tiny little amp, I've been going direct tonight. Now, if you were to hear it, if I'd mic'd the speaker up, it honestly sounds a little more like the real amps, what's coming out of the speaker. And so some of the demos I've done in the past have been recording the sound of the speaker. So my apologies tonight. I'm going straight into a board, and I'm just going line out and letting you hear what it sounds like coming out of really the headphones out on this thing and going into the board. Peace to all who watch. Subscribe to the channel if you like, and do give me your thoughts. And if you've not subscribed, subscribe. But be sure to ring that bell, and that way you'll know when I'm doing more of these kind of videos. Thanks.